Hey guys, welcome to Strategic Timeout, Fantasy IPL 2023 picks. Today we are talking now about the second match on the Super Sunday, Gujarat versus RR, right? The final of last year, and what a performance by these two teams so far in the tournament. I think they have continued from where they left last season. So it's been absolutely the both the sides look well oiled, and as you can see, even like a lot of very less sort of wide spaces. So their team is sort of figured out. And yeah, so what do you think about the Gujarat playing 11, Jammu? Do you see any changes with Mohit sort of taking Yash Dayal's position? I think that he did well.
Yeah, I think that is the spot that's cemented now, especially for the next two games. Um, I never thought before the start of the season that a player like Hardik would have so many reds and still Gujarat be so consistent and not be dependent on his all-round performances. So for me, Gujarat looks like a stable setup. I'm not really looking to tinker anything if I'm the team manager.
Yeah, I also think there is no room for tinkering. Uh, and like Mohit also was the only spot which looked whether it will go to Yash Dayal or a Mohit with him taking two wickets last game. I think that has sort of sealed it. RR in the other way, in the other side, are also doing really well. Their middle order is still
Hmm.
sort of not figured out clearly because
Yeah.
like a Padikkal came and finally had a good innings. Other than
Yep.
number four spot has been open. So now I see Padikkal also sort of continuing there. The only
Yep.
change which I'm expecting is from last 11 because it was more of a spin condition. Bolt comes in for Zampa.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think that is the only change which happens in the team. Even Sandeep sort of has sealed it. So yeah,
Yep.
I think say having said that, that itself shows right the both the teams have already at such an early stage of IPL figured out their best playing 11s and looks a good match. So when we say a good match, then becomes a headache for fantasy managers who to pick, right?
Yeah.
I think lot of good picks, and if we start filling the whole table, will I think get filled there. But if you have to
Yeah.
give me two names across the four dimensions, the first two names that come to your mind for tomorrow's game, maybe three names. What are the three picks you
Okay.
would do?
My topmost pick is Butler. Uh, that's a no-brainer. Um, I go with Gill next because of the form he's showing, and then since Rashid has been in the thick of things, picking wickets, Rashid becomes my third choice. Uh, I do feel RR is one team that can counter Rashid better than a few others. But still, when they are trying to take on a spinner and the way Rashid bowls, I still feel he has a great chance of picking at least two wickets in this game. So these are my top three choices.
Yeah, I think I largely agree. The other name that I would sort of pick up is Chahal. That
Hmm.
I think he has been a consistent. He was purple cap holder. I think he's still holding the purple cap, if I'm not wrong, even for this season. I'm not sure. Maybe someone might have overtaken him recently, but yeah, he has been in the mix. If not the purple cap, he's been there in the top two. So I think
Yeah.
Chahal comes in the middle overs. RR, sorry, the Gujarat middle order, not very, very as set as their top three, I would say. Saha gives you
Yeah.
those power play innings. Sudarshan and Gill have been absolutely amazing so far. But then again, right, even Miller sort of showed a little struggle. Pandya is not in the best elements. So I would give
Hmm.
Chahal a chance. Bolt, if he plays, I think Bolt also. Both of these bowlers for RR have been absolutely great, and same thing with Shami. So if so,
Yeah.
my picks would be around Chahal, Bolt, and Shami, who are actually my sort of go-to guys if I have to pick up bowlers for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a team where actually even I think we'll have more and more choices, but then I think these are the six which most of the people will pick up, and these are really good buys, solid picks to help you
Yeah.
gain the points. But now, if you have to give me some X factors, right, for tomorrow, who do you think can be those X factors who not many teams might still have?
When you talk about the Rajasthan setup, for me, Sanju Samson is always an X factor. The problem I face with him is, his inconsistency. He's always across. I think the IPLs that he has played, he has always shown glimpses of what a supremely talented batsman he is, and he can take, any match. Like he's someone who can change the course of any match single-handedly, but he fails to do so on like majority of the occasion. So he definitely makes the X factor pick for me. And if we are talking about our setup, even a like of Ashwin, right, who has been economical, who is getting you those two wickets. You've seen with the way the management is going about him in the batting order. He's giving you those 20, 30 runs here and there. So Ashwin definitely becomes an X factor pick for me if you were talking about the RRT.
Yeah, I think yeah, very good picks. Ashwin actually being the man of the match also last. Batting, right? Ashwin's batting has been something of a revelation. He's also looks
Yep,
supremely confident. He's always been a confident batsman, but
yep,
in terms of like, though he struggled in initial part of the innings, he took on the pacer, right, and he just hit two sixes
correct.
back to back. That is something which Ashwin had not done so consistently, which he's been doing, and he's coming above a holder consistently now, and that
Yep,
is something which none of us would have expected at the beginning of the season.
yep,
So, in terms of, I think, like if you look at the Greens, right, like still a Hetmeyer. What do
yep,
you think about a Hetmeyer kind of a player? Now he's like, in terms of fantasy, he's absolutely being a banker right now. He's giving you those 50, 60
correct.
points on an average, which is a big thing, right, on a season long run. But what do you do
Yes.
for a player kind of Hetmeyer kind of a player? Do
See,
you still not back him?
the real challenge you face with Hetmeyer is what's the situation with the toss and if RR are batting or bowling first, right? So if they are batting first, he's, as you mentioned, right, he's someone who will come and give you those 60 points. He's so consistent, right? Look at his scores, 36, 39, 30, right? He's always been a consistent batsman, but it always sort of happens that if they are batting first is when I would prefer to have him in the team. Uh, Largely because he's getting those 20 balls at the end. He does not have the pressure of, the scoreboard as such. He's not, he's just going behind the bowlers right from the word go. So a Hetmeyer is a very good choice for me if RR are batting first. If they are not, I don't really look at him as someone who's closing games because the likes of Yashasvi, Josses, and the Samson have done their jobs largely at the top of the order. So if RR bat first, I definitely look at getting someone like a Hetmeyer just because he's consistent and gives you those 60 points.
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. RR bat first. So it's only then because he can always come and hit a big one in second innings. But then, yeah, you by going by law of averages, by how you calculate the maths behind fantasy, I think what we would always advise the user is if you can watch it till the toss, please do, because then you can pick up those gems like a Vijay Shankar kind of a player, right? Last game
Yeah,
for Gujarat, they were batting
yeah,
first. He came out and hit a 60. Like that would never have happened if they were batting second.
correct.
So that is the sort of thing I think with Hetmeyer also for RR he brings. What next I want to discuss is the two uncapped batsmen, right, who have been exceptionally brilliant for both their sides. One is Yashasvi Jaiswal and one is Sai
Yeah,
Sudarshan. So who do
yeah.
you think is more of a like when you are choosing now you have one uncapped pick? I think it's a very easy say that both Yashasvi and Sai Sudarshan are good, but if you have to say put one above the other in the pecking order, what?
I'll put Yashashvi higher than Sudarshan. uh, Primarily because of the fact for me, uh, Sudarshan is sort of a slow batsman for a T20 sort of a setup. Having said that, and taking nothing away from what he's doing this season, he has shown glimpses of his acceleration during the course of the innings. But he's still someone who's a dependable anchor sort of a player. Yashashvi to me is more of that maverick that can come in, play like a 30, 40 ball, 60, 70 runs, right, and score a lot of boundaries which really matter, giving you those additional points in terms of a fantasy. So I personally pick Yashashvi over Sai, but taking nothing away from Sai for the form that he has shown this season.
Yeah, I think having that advantage of a power play setup also, right? Like that goes in favor
Correct.
of Yashasvi and the domestic season that he's both actually had a very good domestic season, but Yashasvi absolutely even at the beginning of the season we had called it out like how Yashasvi
Yep.
has across the formats doing well. He has carried that
Correct.
form. 250s already, lot of great partnerships with Butler. So I think yeah, Yashasvi looks even to me he'll be a better pick. In terms
Yep.
of bowling options, right now we have spoken about the Shamis and Rashids. Just
Hmm.
wanted to see if do you rate any of Little, Mohit, and Alzari for Gujarat? And when we come to same thing with RR, Sandeep, Holder, and basically Sandeep and Holder. So,
Yeah.
what is
I
your
definitely rate Alzari is the highest in this order. I'm very impressed by how Gujarat really thought about picking, some of these players during the course of the auctions. Majorly of the fact that one Alzari is coming off from a brilliant international circuit, and the second thing is Gujarat as a team are definitely not either using him up the order or at the death, right? They're using him in the middle over. So they're trying to force mistakes from the batsmen in the middle over, giving them that extra pace. And majority of the setups you see that, the spinners coming and taking control. They're trying to be more economical, rather than going for wickets, they're trying to contain runs. But that's where I feel Gujarat are a very different setup. They are going for wickets consistently for the 20 overs, right? If you see Shami up front, attacking with Little, who's a left arm seamer. Rashid is always an attacking option whenever he's bought on, and so is Alzari. So I feel Alzari is someone who's getting you those two wickets, and at the same time, I'm impressed by the economy that he has shown this season. So Alzari for me is the highest, and is definitely an X factor pick.
and what about a Sandeep and a Holder, right? Holder has not been the player he has been in past seasons, giving you
Yeah,
points. And Sandeep, though he bowled that excellent over to Dhoni and Tala, and like stopped him from hitting that six, which all of us expected basis the
yeah.
script. Would you pick? Would you give them any chance? Because both of them take a transfer away, right? Like, are they?
Uh, they do, yeah. I feel they are taking a transfer away because I would still prefer them in, say, a guy like a Holder if, say, we are playing in one of the big grounds. Especially because long boundaries can come to his rescue there. But I still feel he isn't the holders that we have seen in say a season or two earlier. Just because he does not look threatening enough to me, and his slower balls like the ones that used to be his go-to weapon, are not really as lethal as they used to be. So for me, both Sandeep and Holder are sort of avoids for this game.
Even Holder, right? Yeah. Older, I think, because we have lost his batting also completely, right? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know what's happening
correct.
with that because you still are seeing, like, I expected with the number four spot not being sort of fixed, I was expecting maybe they try a Holder up and just see,
Correct.
maybe give him that confidence and maybe it clicks onto his bowling also. But yeah, I think for now, these would be avoids along with our dear Parag and Tewatia. I feel their roles, both
Yeah,
of their roles, are not at all clear in the current setup. Tewatia still, in a way, it's clear that Tewatia will come and finish the innings, but him not getting a ball at all. Both Parag and Tewatia not getting a ball, both having those just finisher roles, maybe play an over or two. I don't think so in terms of fantasy right now. Either of them are sort of any assets.
correct.
Okay. So I think we have done with the easy part of this game. The hardest part is selecting our captains, right? Like, who are the bankable captains among all these amazing choices? If you have to pick up two names, which will be those?
I'll pick Butler and Gill as my captain, vice captain. Success.
Even against Gujarat bowling attack, which has done well in power play.
I still do so because Butler is for me. Butler is uh, going around. He's the best white ball opener for me. So at the current moment, so he makes it as the captain to any team against any opposition, any bowling lineup, and so is the case with Gill. I'm putting all my money on Gill going big in the international circuit for the next 2 to 3 years. So these two definitely. But when you're talking about Gujarat and RS, for me, these are the two no-brainers.
I think I'm in complete agreement with Butler because Butler, even in Chepauk, right, which is supposed to be a traditionally slow pitch, low pitch, uh, Dhoni strangling, he still played a marvelous innings until he got a really good one by Moen. He did not
Yeah,
look discomfortable at all. Like, there was no
yeah.
discomfort in his batting, which was a very, very big sign. For Gill, still a bit suspect if Bolt is coming in and if he's
Mm.
bowling those swingers, and like, how does he match up? So for me, the other person that I sort of really like is Rashid, because Rashid,
yeah,
has become an absolute banker in terms of when he comes, he takes the wicket taking overs. If he's not successful at the beginning, he will be successful at the end. So somehow he manages
correct.
to get those crucial fantasy points and his batting right. Any day,
Yeah,
if there is a collapse, and you can expect that collapse from against RR
correct.
bowling. If any other, if you have to put a collapse on the Gujarat batting lineup, the only bowling I would say is RR right now. And
Yeah,
sorry, if, I have to say for RR, I'll say like the, basically Rashid comes up, and
mm,
so I think Rashid for me. But yeah, having said that, I think all these three captains are amazing, and the safest will be just to go for two out of these three.
correct.
All right, so I think in terms of season long fantasy, we have some great picks and differentials. Now to look at the Dream 11, right? Dream 11 again, very hard job because all most of the players are doing really well. But I think there are
Yeah,
certain players whom we have already spoken about how they are absolutely sort of slot in. Butler, Gill, Yashasvi, Chahal, Shami, Bolt, Rashid, Ashwin, right? These are all sort of right now doing great for their sides, have consistently picked up points. So these are some eight which you need to keep in your Dream 11, and where to make a difference is basically if you look here, right? Like if now if Gujarat are batting first, I think and Hardik, who's not had the greatest of the season, still has some potential because say they are batting first, he hits a good 40. He has shown tendency that he'll come and bowl also, carry that form, carry that sort of. So Hardik, and same thing with Saha. He comes and gives you those crucial points in the beginning, power play. There is any day he might like take you beyond that pathway, right? So you can sort of have him as a differential. And holder. Holder we have spoken about like avoid for the season long fantasy, but for a Dream 11 setup where you're looking to make a difference with holder getting those death overs, he's another differential that that managers can consider. What about RR batting first? What do you have to say about the three picks that we have listed here?
I think absolutely spot on, right? Hetmeyer being, we just spoke about him being consistent and giving those crucial points in the slog overs. Samson again, right? Like in terms of the setup that you see, you still do not have enough belief on a particle to deliver every game, right? So if RR are batting first, you're definitely looking at Samson coming up early, or say if the openers fire coming in the middle overs, still having a lot of balls to face, still having enough time to actually make a big difference. So Samson always is in and out of the team based on how consistently he's performing. And Alzari, as we spoke, right, can come in, give you 2 to 3 wickets, has been economical. So definitely gives you those 60, 70 points. The good part is people are not really able to take him on because of the pace he's coming with. So definitely Azari is the very safe pick if you are batting first.
Yeah, I think Alzari has been a revelation. He's if you look at even the greens, right? He's had three greens, and last match also he picked up a wicket. That's why he has a yellow.
Yep,
So he has shown that
yep,
consistency. Still, not many users are going, like not many managers are going for him because he's still not your those five-star superstar type of a bowler, right? Like he's not
correct,
that well-known
correct,
name. But if you go by stats and seeing the form, I think Alzari becomes a great pick. I completely.
correct.
So now we have already discussed our safe choices, right? Butler is a common between us, and then Gill and Rashid sort of
Mm,
are our other safe choices. But now, if you have to pick up bold ones, who will be your bold captaincy that might give you that Dream 11 super prize?
I'll put Chahal as my first bold choice because Uh, again, rather than a bold choice, it's still a very safe choice. I would say, but for me, the boldness of the decision is if he can pick you 4 or 5 wickets rather than just going for one or two. So Chahal can any day make the difference. And if I'm looking at the second one, uh, I it's a head versus heart sort of a thing. My head says Samson might fire today, but all my heart behind Yashasvi for doing well.
Yeah. I think Yashasvi, I'm in complete alignment. I think he's still someone not many still go for captaincy. I think having that uncapped sort of a tag on him deters
Yeah,
many managers many times. And same is the case with Tilak Verma, right? Like that happens for Mumbai games. So
Correct.
that gives you that sort of a bold move making Yashasvi, which I have personally done a couple of times this season. It has paid off
Mm.
really well. And
Yep.
yeah, Samson, I'm not in that much agreement to Samson because Samson always, I think, is starts the season absolutely gorgeously.
Yeah.
I think, in 2, 3 seasons, he's been the first centurion, right? I was reading a stat recently
Correct.
that in a few seasons, he has been the first centurion. I think in 3 seasons. That's crazy for some. Like he's
Yeah.
always starts off with a bang and then he tapers off, and again he's showing those sort of tendencies right now. Having said that, like an RR bat first and Samson can absolutely go crazy. But as of now, if I have to pick another bold move, for me it would be actually Bolt because I
Mm.
feel a Trent Bolt at Motera, which showed a bit of swing in the first match, and especially if somehow they get a couple of early wickets, I think he can get into that middle order. Like he can really
Yeah.
take like even 3 wickets in the power play, come at the death, pick up another, and get you that massive haul. So I think Bolt is someone that we have to closely, like my personal bold move would be going for Trent Bolt tomorrow.
Okay.
Though he's coming back from an injury, like a lot of managers would still be wary.
Yep.
All right, I think you have great choices, guys. Think sensibly. This is a great match just to witness, and I think with the fantasy sort of on it, I think yeah, everyone will be watching this match. Lot of tables, lot of league positions to be jumped. So yeah, all the best, guys. Super Sunday would sort of end here. We'll come back tomorrow, start of another week, game number 24. And yeah, please drop any comments if you have any different thoughts on any of the players we discussed today.
See you folks. Have a good
All
one.
right, see you. All the best, guys.